Hi, how you doing? We're getting ready to start day number 3. Today we're going to be reading again in Genesis, continuing in Genesis, in chapters 7, 8, and 9. And so this is really the crux of the story of Noah and the ark. And in Noah and the ark, it starts off in chapter 7, and the flood is about to come, and we have the animals coming to him, and they come in a little bit interesting way. We haven't seen a separation by clean and unclean until now, but he gets 7 pairs of the clean and 2 pairs of the unclean, and he brings them in, and he has everything. And you see that he has both livestock, and he has wild animals, and he has birds. And this will start to be, we talked about those big themes. This is start to seeing one of the themes over the next 3 chapters, this and the following 2 chapters. You're going to see the theme of Genesis chapter 1 played out again with a few things different, particularly this time the addition of the clean and unclean animals. And so we have the flood come, God closes Noah up, and it says everything is dead. Then in chapter 8, we find out the entire earth is covered with water, and it says up to 20 feet on top of the mountain. So the water is covering everything. Again, this should start to bring back the idea of the theme from Genesis chapter 1, because remember it says that water was everywhere, and God had to separate the water from the land, and he does that again. And then another thing happens. The ark lands on the top of the mountain, and the water does start to recede. And how does it recede? Because God sends a strong wind to blow it away. Well, if you remember in Genesis chapter 1, we didn't study this. It's a little bit of study, not supposed to have it right now, but the word for roach, the word for spirit is roach, which means wind. So here the Spirit moves over the water in Genesis chapter 1, and here we have the wind blowing the water away and separating the water into water and dry land again. And then it doesn't say how the plants sprung up, but Noah knows that it's okay to leave the ark. Why? Because he sent out birds, and the 3rd time he sends out birds, the dove comes back with a olive leaf in its mouth. So he knows that vegetation is starting to grow on the earth again, which is exactly what you have in Genesis chapter 1. You have to have vegetation in day 3 before God begins the creation of man in day 5 and 6, animals and man in day 5 and 6. So anyway, this is the way God does it. He repeats these themes over and over again. So then we get done with chapter 8. We go into chapter 9, and chapter 9 is interesting because it's starting a covenant. It's the first time we see a covenant between God and man again. Now, he's had interaction with man in the Garden of Eden. He's had interaction with man after the Garden of Eden with Cain and Abel and that conversation that they had. But now God is actually making a covenant with Noah, very similar to the covenant that's going to be coming. 2 more covenants after this one. But we have this covenant, so watch out for that. This covenant has a little bit of a different twist to it. You're going to see that he introduces the eating of meat. But he says you can't eat meat with blood in it. And that draws him to another conversation that you're not supposed to kill people. You can't kill mankind. If you kill a man, that's going to cost you your life. And so basically what he's saying is that blood has life in it, and to take that life is an important thing. And we're going to see that that's really important, obviously. That's a theme that we're going to see repeated over and over and over again as we read through the scripture. And then finally, it ends the chapter with a discussion about the separation of his sons into 2 camps, good and bad. Remember, Ham finds his father in a compromising situation and doesn't do anything about it properly. He basically insults his father. The 2 other brothers come in, they cover up Dad, and Ham then, who is the father of Canaan, another name that we're going to hear quite a bit, Ham is cursed, or Canaan actually is cursed because of this. And so we end the chapter with a covenant being created. There's a seal to that covenant, and that seal is the rainbow, and we see the separation of people into good and bad camps again. Same way we had in the first 3 chapters of Genesis. So I hope you enjoy the reading, enjoy this story. It's one we've seen many, many times. We all know it, our kids all know it, but it's interesting to look at the details. Pay attention and enjoy. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day. God bless.